Welcome to the Women in Leadership Body, Mind, Soul, and Business podcast. I'm Charlie.
And I'm Heather. And together, we are so glad to bring you Mindset Monday.
Thank you for joining us. This week's Yoga Sutra topic is Raga, which is clinging to past pleasure. And you can find my reading of this chapter on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, so she posts those every Sunday, whatever we're going to be talking about that week. So if you want to be a part of the discussion or you want to dig deeper into the topic, this is a great way to do it.
Absolutely. And then Heather likes to talk about her wellness journey, and part of that is mindset. So she's got this wonderful
I love this book. It's called 52 Changes for the Mind. And so there just happens to be 52 weeks in the year. So this is really cool. So these two books have been going together really famously.
Really
it's really amazing. So this week's topic is giving yourself a timeout. And we talk about that a lot with like our kids and whether or not, there's big debates in parenting circles if timeout works or whatever. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about it as adults when we're having a large reaction to a situation, when we're really, overwhelmed feeling, when someone does or says something and we are triggered. So that, for me is like a feeling of anger or, disappointment sometimes is like it's kind of negative and it feels yucky and I really don't want anything to do with it.
Right.
So at those times in our lives, we can tend to say things we don't mean to people, or we'll regret later.
Right.
So that's what we're talking about, giving ourselves a chance to separate from a situation and regain composure. What did I miss?
Just so you guys know, just in case you haven't missed it yet, you can find both of these books, The Path of the Yoga Sutras and the 52 Changes, Small Changes for the Mind, on our affiliates page on our website.
Yeah. So, and we call that Grow With Us.
Yes.
Grow With Us. So it's like all the things we use for the podcast, you can find links for on there, like from headphones to microphones to the camera, like all the things that we use. And a few wish list items, like I don't want somebody to think that their laptop will be as awesome as ours. So we do have some wish list laptops on there, because if you wanted to start something like this, you are going to want better equipment, like if you're going specifically. So like if you wanted to start a podcast, you could go down the list and pretty much get all the equipment ideas, like will be good enough to actually do all the things that we're doing with podcasts.
That came up because Connie asked a question, so thank you, Connie.
Yeah,
Connie.
Absolutely. These are I really enjoy the topics, and I love how they meet up together. Like just digging in more to our mindset and giving ourselves a chance to know ourselves better. So where was I? I was talking over here. So when we're really emotionally charged, we're often use anger to mask other feelings. So anger is like an iceberg emotion.
Yes.
And you can actually Google anger iceberg, and there's a graphic that will come up, and that graphic shows you that anger is like an iceberg. So when you think of an iceberg, it's like sticking up out of the water, and that's the part we see. But underneath the water, kind of like a tree, right? Like it has all of this stuff underneath it. Yeah, like the roots of a tree even, like, right, like there's all of this stuff underneath it. So figuring out like what is it that I'm really upset about. Well, I'm really upset about, Aunt Susie using the silver and putting it in the dishwasher. But so when you put dishes in the dishwasher and I hear the silverware clean, like what really triggered you? What really happened? So it gives you that chance to figure that out. And so what else?
It's perspective.
Yeah. And
right? You need to take a step back, gain perspective, really think about where those feelings and emotions are coming from in order to be able to move forward with clarity and clear conscious, and just really in a positive way versus a negative way. And did that this weekend.
Right? It gives you a chance to clearly articulate your emotions in a logical and less emotional way. Right. So you have control over how you are communicating to somebody.
Absolutely. I had to take a mom timeout this weekend, and I called Heather because I was having a really hard mom moment that I went through all the feels. She allowed me to go through all the feelings, you know, and it's nice to have a friend to call that is like, okay, I need to talk this out. I'm going to verbally vomit all over you, but I need to clear my mind and really feel the feels and in order to move forward. And sometimes you have a friend that helps you walk through that, like Heather does for me. Or sometimes you need to, you know, take a step back and use those tools for yourself.
I think one of my biggest things is like we are our own leader.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that includes parenting ourselves.
Yes.
So if you didn't get that skill as a kid, or it's something you want to work on, we'll talk about that in a minute. Like, how can you work on that? So, when we're talking about clinging to past pleasures,
right, Raga,
yeah,
clinging to past pleasure, it plays really well with the timeouts, because a lot of our reactions, our negative reactions to things, is because we experienced them in the past, and we'll talk about this here. Wherever you will be attached, there you will go. Is our quote this week. Kirpal Singh. When we have an experience that is pleasurable, it is natural to desire it again. An attachment is formed. If the desire cannot be fulfilled, causing pain or discomfort, then raga has manifested in us. This suffering, or dukkha, is happening because we are attached to a previously experienced pleasure. If we can let go of this attachment, then we can avoid the associated suffering. Okay? So by clinging to the past thing, and it could be pleasure or pain, we are not helping ourselves in the moment today.
Right. So if I would like the was it the thoughts for the week this week? Really digging in to what that means. Like if how is it that clinging to this past pleasure, like, and you think about, okay, Easter's coming up, right?
Right.
And you think about that one event and how you want it to go, and that was the best Easter, and you want to recreate that. But you're not sitting in what the family wants or needs right today, and how stressed out you are about recreating that.
Right.
So if you're clinging to that past recreation, you're not sitting in the joy of the moment today.
That's true.
That's where we're going?
Yes.
Woo! Cool.
Okay, so the thoughts this week are: the need to re-experience an enjoyable event is a source of suffering. Okay, if we try to recreate happy experiences and things like that, it can actually create more pain because we have this expectation that it's going to go exactly as awesome as it did the time before, and then we're disappointed.
I have a story.
Right? Hold that thought.
Oh.
Okay. Past experiences can color present and future thoughts, words, and deeds. Okay. So your past experiences have an effect on how you react to things today.
Because raga actually means color, and that's how they view it. Like, the past experience creates kind of a color for you, and then that color you overlay onto your current experiences. And so, things are probably
if you can, let me rephrase that.
Yeah.
So you've heard the term rose-colored glasses, right? So it like puts this filter on your life, you know, and we can think of like social media filters and things like that, right? So you have this filter on your life that you have to really work at in order to clear that filter. Okay, it's like having a dirty windshield. You know, all of these bugs have splattered on your windshield. let's clean it off.
Oh, I
Right?
like that.
So that's just another way to think about that.
And that's why we take the deep breaths so that we can kind of clear the windshield. Like we're wiping off the windshield and getting centered and grounded in our heart.
Yes.
Wow, cool. Aha!
Right? Anybody else have that aha moment?
I love it when we just keep talking about it. It'll finally it will all clear and make sense, right?
The final thought this week is if I cannot have what I want, I will let go of it and move on. Maybe what the universe knows you need is different than what you want. Okay, and it's better.
Ooh.
Because the universe works for us.
Oh my gosh.
Our
That's perfect.
our life works for us.
That's perfect for everything that's happened just today. I have to say. I love that. So if we want to take more control over our past and we want to give ourselves these timeouts, how do we do that? So first we start by tuning in. You have to notice where is the inception of this thought? Where does it come from? You have to peel back the layers of the onion until you get to that middle. You want to make that beautiful fried onion, right? Like all pretty, right? Onion. You gotta peel all those layers back and see what's at the heart of what you're doing. I get really frustrated. It's a really good story. Let me back up. No, somebody's gonna love this story. So, my son's on the autism spectrum, and this is perfect for this. Like, so when he was little, we would go to the zoo. He had like a certain way we went to the zoo. And he would always,
the certain path.
Exactly.
You would circle around this direction.
You'd go this way, you do this, you go to this bathroom, you play in this field, you do this thing, and then we get an ice cream and we go home. I didn't realize that was what we did every time. It's just what we did. Right? Like
the pattern.
It was the pattern we did. It was what's comfortable. We can walk this far. We can do this much. This is what's physically okay. So someone else tried to take him to the zoo. And he's having a fit. And they can't figure out like what. And he's like freaking out. Like, we need to use this bathroom. We need to go play in this field. Like,
this is before diagnosis.
This is, before diagnosis, before we knew that the patterns, like, you think about it. Like, so he's having an absolute fit because nothing is going the way he's expecting. That is the suffering of the pattern, clinging to the pattern. That is just exactly what it is. Poor guy. Like, he just wants his ice cream and go potty. Like, right. He's like, what is happening?
I do believe one of our quotes this week goes around the idea that if you don't learn a lesson the first time, it keeps coming back. You keep running into the same person.
In a different body, the same kind of experience over and over again. Okay.
Until you learn.
All right, so that was my story. Yeah, it's exactly like.
So don't cling to the past suffering.
And then help your kids not cling to the past suffering, right? Right, like this is like the way business was going 2 years ago doesn't go the way it is going today. Like, there's so many places we can add that into our lives as women in leadership. So tune in.
Yes, absolutely.
Make sure you take the right amount of time of a break. So that doesn't mean, you're taking a break forever. Is it 15 minutes for you? Is it, this is the kind of thing you're going to have to put on your calendar to talk about? There's all the figuring it out. But it's individual to each one of us because we've each had our own experiences and we each have a different path to the center of the onion. We each have a different center of the onion to get to. Right. There's so many layers. So each of us has a different amount of minutes that we need.
Right. And each of us have had different life experiences up to like right now in your now. So, being aware that other people have different experiences and baggage that they're bringing with them that maybe they're working through and trying to, declutter that baggage, or maybe they're not.
Right.
And the journey
It's
is
their
each individual journey. So
they're working on something else, don't be a
Right.
butthead. But make sure you re-engage in a timely manner. So if
Right.
you are taking a time out from something, you need to be respectful that you're taking the time out, not everyone else. So you do have to re-engage timely. And if you wait too long, then you risk not re-engaging, right?
Right.
And then you're perpetuating, coming back around to that person again in a different form. It'll be fun.
Right. Don't beat yourself up against the wall because you have, just take a step back when you're in a hard situation and think about what is the lesson I can learn right now. Like, what is the world trying to teach me?
I love that so much because we talk about that a lot. Life is happening for me, for us. Like, it's happening for me. So if I am really, really, really upset and I take a deep breath and I take a few minutes and I remind myself, okay, I'm upset, but this is a good thing because life happens for me.
Mhm.
So that means I can make a change so that I don't have to feel like this.
Exactly. Absolutely.
So
that's why we love bringing you guys Mindset Monday.
Right?
Because
Absolutely.
there's so much good stuff. We can keep talking all day long. But I think we've got a few more
ways that you can help yourself grow with this. If you're taking a timeout that involves somebody else because of a conflict, you're going to be communicating. So this is a really good opportunity for you to communicate. Hey, I'm really upset in this moment. I'm not exactly sure why. So I'm going to step back. Or I know why, but I'm going to hold my tongue so that I can actually communicate with you instead of continuing this spiral.
Right. And negativity begets negativity.
Yeah.
So being able to step back and reevaluate really changes perception. And a lot of times you can go back to the table very positively in a really good direction.
It's
super helpful.
It can take courage and bravery to stand up for yourself those first few times. But once you experience the other side, it's so easy to do now that from practicing it. Mm-hmm. Like, it was really hard at first because it's new and it's scary, but those are good new scary feelings. Right. So don't be stuck on your fear. Faith over fear. I was like, I'm thinking of this up on the wall. We have faith over fear on the wall over here. Do something constructive for yourself during that time. Do something active. Go out and garden. Go for a walk. Put something together. Do something so that you're moving your energy, because that helps you clear your thoughts. Mm-hmm. You can get hooked up with our friend Michelle and learn to do some energy movement techniques to clear energy. Really good but basically the idea is you get moving, you get your energy moving, because then you're not stuck in that one situation that you're spiraling in.
Absolutely.
And above all, the last one is respect and reciprocate. So if you're holding space for someone, you want them to hold space for you back, right? So respect and reciprocate. I can call Charlie and spiral myself back down, too. Like, she gives me that space too. Sometimes I'm like, I'm in my head.
Right. And sometimes that's just it. Sometimes we just get so in our own heads that we just keep spiraling out of control, and we need clarity and perspective on the situation or whatever the case may be. So anyway, that's what we got for you guys this week.
Yeah. And our quote from this book is, "No man can think clearly when his fists are clenched," by George Jean Nathan. No man can think clearly when his fists are clenched. You have no oxygen flow. If you're all tight, I mean, physically,
fight or flight.
The physical, like, if you clench your fist, just do it. Just like clench really hard. You're like, you can't think. Like, everything, all your blood flow is going through your body, and to fight, right? Like that's your body's ready when you clench.
Yeah, it's that
It's
fight or
ready.
flight response. It's a natural response, but being able to take a few minutes, take a break, give yourself a timeout.
Keep tuning in because there's going to be more on how to
Stop suffering, do to your own stuff. And yeah.
So tomorrow we're bringing you a special from location live, 4 p.m. on Tuesdays, or 9 a.m. on Wednesdays. We have a lawyer friend coming.
We do.
She's really amazing, really exciting for you. And on Friday, we're starting a new season, and we're kicking it off with an amazing local author. So we're really excited for what this week has got for you. And if you don't have your tickets to the gala, I guess we won't see you there. It's just the way it is.
Check out the website and download the podcasts. Thank you for your support. We love you. Namaste.
Namaste.